For today's webinar, Lockdown Rescue webinar, I'm interviewing Ben the Builder and asking him how he's getting on with his projects during the current situation. Okay, Ben, thank you for agreeing to help at the last minute. After Anthony had an issue in the last minute, we're just waiting for a new date from him. I've invited Ben to jump on because we're looking at all aspects of property developing. We've looked at some of my millionaire clients. We've looked at solicitors' point of view. We've looked at architects' point of view. And Ben is a builder who has built. Do you want to give everyone just a quick overview of your experience, Ben? For some reason it's blocked you off again. Hang on. There we go. There you go. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, yeah, I've been in the building trade for about 17 years. Started out in as a bricklayer. I've had a building company now for about 4 years. Yeah, that's sort of, I do new builds, refurbs, all that sort of thing, really.
Okay. Did you have any projects underway just prior to the COVID outbreak and when things first started going weird?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I've had. Well, I've currently got a plot with 2 on that are basically finished, and I've got a JV in with that, and obviously they're going to take a little while to sell now. And then I've got a refurb in Fornham that I'm doing. That is pushing forward, but I mean it's not moving at the minute. But it was moving a little bit last week, so it's not really material-wise. It's more staff coming to work, really. So that's a bit of an issue. And then I've got a few other jobs where customers are in situ, so obviously I've got trades like painters and stuff that can go in and they want to go in, but obviously they can't go in because there's people in them, if you know what I mean. So some sites I think are still running if there's no one, if there's no one on the site and they can distance themselves, but
so
it's just difficult times.
Yeah, so you're basically saying that if you're in the middle of building something or doing a refurb on an empty house, you can still proceed if the trades want to. They're obviously allowed to travel to and from work, but they're not coming in for whatever reasons.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, builders haven't actually been told that they have to stop working. Obviously, they've got to take precautions to isolate, but there is a few firms still around here working on building sites and stuff like that. So yeah, it can still be done.
Yeah.
And I think although the merchants around here, a lot of them are shut, but sort of Kings Lynn way, you can still get deliveries from Wicks, and there's a single merchant in Dersingham that's still delivering bricks, slabs and stuff like that. So you can get the materials. It's more the staff.
And if you could buy the materials from Amazon, you can definitely still get stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it's more staff not coming in, because when we spoke to the architect, he said that projects could still go ahead, but depending on the square meterage of the project was the number of builders allowed on site at any one time because of social like keeping distance from everybody.
Yeah, I mean there must be a regulation for it as to how big it's got to be and how many you can have on. But most of my sites are quite small, to be fair.
So why are you having problems? Is it they are like self-isolating? Are they high risk? Why wouldn't a painter come in to do painting if they were on their own or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some that are high risk, so they're obviously staying at home. So, because a lot of the decent trades around here, they're normally in their 40s, 50s, and some of them are high risk. But then on some situations where I can get the trades in, that particular job has got customers there and they don't want people there. So it's just been one thing after another, really, and I've not been able to really push forward. But I am looking to, there is a job I can get the scaffolders in on Tuesday next week. So I am looking to get some people back to work Wednesday. So hopefully things may start moving, but even though they've just said about another 3-week lockdown, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Do you think that as people get more used to the lockdown process, that more and more people, because I've just seen that, like, I think Kentucky and a couple of the other food chains are reopening, but only for takeaways, and that they've had to train their staff about social distancing within the kitchens. Do you think that those people aren't coming in because they can have time off, and because if you put any of your stuff into I forget what they call it now, what's it called, beginning with F? Furlough. Have you put any of your staff into furlough, and that's why they're not working?
No, all my staff are self-employed, so I've got a couple of lads that work for me full-time, and I pretty much take them on full-time, but they are still self-employed. But all the trades that I have worked for me are all self-employed. So, I mean, I think it's a lot of being shamed upon as well, a little bit, even though you are allowed to still go to work if you need to, if you can't work from home. It's a little bit of like, we've all got to be in this together, we've all got to be seen to be staying at home a little bit. But I don't, if you can get on and you're not, and you can still distance yourselves, I don't see the problem really.
No.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
I mean, can you just reorganise your staff so that the few sites that you can work off, you can get people there?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the site that we can actually get on, we've been waiting for the scaffolders to come, so they're gonna go there Tuesday and put a lift up, but they don't want anyone there. So obviously after they've put that up, we can then start getting the labourers in to load out and get the bricklayers there to start laying.
So do you think?
Yeah, we can start that one.
Once like everyone's organised and they get more used to it, and so therefore they get more organised. So how long does it take you from start to finish to build a house at the
moment? Start to finish is about 100 days, or 3 to 6 months, depending on. Do you know what I mean? Depending on how you're pushing on them and how big they are. But I mean, I think like you say, we're going to be going back to work, but like you say, things are going to be different. We're going to have to probably be wearing masks more, even though we should do anyway on site most of the time. But stuff like that, gloves will probably be absolutely essential and stuff like that. So things are going to, and obviously keeping your distance. But I mean, they've got to sort of get it back to work, because the longer this goes on, I think the harder it's going to be to get back to normal.
Yeah, whatever normal will be when we go back. So how long do you think, if it normally takes 100 days to build a house, how long if you were starting one like next week, and you've got a little bit of this behind you, you've got a little bit of organisation, practice in the current situation, if you really wanted to crack on with it and you could get, organise the trades, how long would it take you to do a normal 100-day build? How many days could you think it would take you?
Maybe a third more, so maybe 130, 140 days. And also maybe materials might cost you a little bit more at the minute, because obviously if I can't go to the likes of MKMs or Hydres or Ridgeons, then you've got to go to other merchants, which you're probably going to pay more money. So yeah, it can be done.
But it's going to be more expensive in time, more expensive in bridging loans. More expensive.
Yeah, tad more expensive, and obviously organisation can be a bit more difficult. But yeah, so it can be done, but it's just gonna be. I mean, not massively more expensive, but I suppose it's more time, isn't it? You're gonna have to allow yourself more time to get people in and out.
I know through the mentoring program we've managed to persuade you to stay off the tools. Have you been able to stay off the tools doing this?
Yeah, I have during this, yeah. And it's been quite nice actually in a way, because I've managed to, when I came to the January sort of goal setting day, I'm managing to get some of them goal settings done as much as I'm not managed to getting others done. But I am sort of, it's been nice to actually, because one of my things was to actually teach my kids things about business. So that's something I'm able to do every day now for an hour a day.
Cool.
So it's little things that, although we're in a bit of a mess, it's nice. We're sort of getting nice little things out of it in a funny kind of way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get making the best out of the situation. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
So look, if anyone's got any questions that they'd like to ask Ben about building and projects and anything like that you'd expect a builder to be able to ask, then please fire away, and I'll either pop your hand up and ask away, and I'm just going to put all of the hands down, so because I had a few hands up from earlier on when I asked if anyone could hear me. If you have a question, please either type it in or pop your hand up and I'll come to you. It'd be great if somebody could pop your hand up now with a question. Just waiting. If you've got to get services on site, any idea for gas, electric, water, what that might mean at the moment?
Well, from what I can gather, I mean, I'm waiting for 2 BT lines to be put in. We've been waiting ages, so we put the services in ourselves, which they normally provide the ducts and stuff like that for, but we've just gone and bought it and put it all in ourselves. But as I understand, they are actually chasing us to come and install 2 BT lines. So yeah, they are still working. So we're now sorting that out. So yeah, they're on about booking a date, but I mean, whether that's going to be in the next 3 or 4 weeks, I don't know. But yeah, they are still working. But I assume a lot of them are working just for emergencies, like water leaks and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely sure about water, electric and gas. But I know BT are chasing me to get for a date to get started.
Sure. Okay. I've got a wonderful question. I do like asking this question every now and again from Justin. Okay. And I'm going to try and answer Emma's as well. If you were building a house for yourself, okay, per square foot, I know you work in meters, but per square foot, what's your build cost?
Right. I knew this was going to come up, so I've written it down because obviously, as you know, I don't really do it in feet, but square feet, but I am going around to this idea. So if I was charging out, it would be 150 plus VAT per square foot. But if I was to do it for myself and I was going to do it and not make any money and just do my time, you'd be looking at £100 plus VAT per square foot sort of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, something like that.
The question from Justin was is it including VAT or not? So you totally answered the question. But that is reclaimable on a build, on a new build, not on a refurb.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can work with the trades better, I mean, they can not charge, they can zero rate it anyway if it's a new build, because it just saves them messing about with the VAT as well. So they'll just literally zero rate the VAT as it's a new build, so they can wipe that off. So you haven't even got to pay it out and wait 3 months. You can literally zero rate it at source, so you're not paying it out.
Okay, and if you were doing a build for trade, like if somebody that you built 4 or 5 houses for, as a builder contractor type thing for a developer, what would you be charging per square foot for that?
Like I say, between 150 and see, I know in square meters it's £1,200 plus VAT. I will just work it roughly out at. And that normally works quite well, but depending on, I would then put on there, depending on what finishes they wanted, it would then change. So that works out about 130 to 150 pound plus VAT per square foot, so roughly.
Okay, and if, because I had another one of my clients, the airline pilot down in Bristol, he had a builder build him something for £110 a square foot. Although it was done to quite a low spec, is it possible to do something to a low spec to bring it in at that type of price?
Yeah, I mean that is bottom end. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 110 to 130 maybe, something like that.
For a low spec.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Yeah, low spec. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I've just had a question that.
Yeah.
If basically, I think it's almost an offer to fund. So if you have an investor who provides the finance, and I need to click on this, and then you just split the profit, which safeguards would you expect the investor to put in place, or how would you structure it?
Well, I've done them two. I've built just down the road in Snetcham, and that's done on a JV. So basically, I didn't put any money down, but I built them for him at cost, and then obviously at the end, when each one sells, I then get a split of the profit from each one. So yeah, there's deals to be done.
So that's potentially, and I suppose the split in low value areas would have to be a higher percentage than in high value areas, because your cost is going to be pretty consistent whether you're building in Norwich or Cambridge.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah, I mean I've done other ones where I've actually, when I first started out buying land and building out, I've actually borrowed from another developer, and then he's basically lent me what I've sort of needed. Then I've needed a little bit more, and he's lent me a bit more. But all he's asked for is 40% of the profit. So they're quite good little deals. They sound like a lot, but if you're only making 50, 60 grand profit, you're then splitting that. And if you're learning and you're sort of starting out, they're quite good little deals to do, because it's fair for both of you really to make a bit of money. And I've borrowed 170, 180 grand, so that's nearly sort of 80% loan to value. I've borrowed 80% of what I'm doing, and they've been happy with that, and they just put a charge on the land and drip feed you the money. So I've done stuff like that, and I've made 60% profit. So to not actually to put a minimal, to put like 30 grand down in a 180 grand deal type thing, that's pretty good really. I'm happy with stuff like that. So sometimes it's good to do a percentage on profit with builders and stuff like that, or developers, because that works sometimes.
Yeah, and it stops the worry about things going over cost.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm now looking at, obviously, as you know, I'm looking at doing bridging on a bungalow that I'm buying. But that'll be the first time I've done bridging, so it is a little bit scary for me, because obviously they're giving you a 12-month sort of time scale, and then you need to either refinance as a buy-to-let, or you got to flip it by then. So that's sort of, a little bit worrying to me. But before, when I've had JVs, it's been very loose. I mean, they've given me 18 months, and then if I wanted a bit more, they've given me a bit more time, or if I want to borrow a bit more money.
I mean, bridging companies, development finance companies are notorious for trying to push you into lower time zones that you then run over. And then if your bridging fee is 20 grand, which that's not unheard of, you'll be charged again to re-bridge even for a short period of time.
Yeah, 100%. So stuff like that's a little bit worrying. But the potential to make a lot more money is there. And on a deal like that one that I'm doing, I'm buying it so cheap that it's worth doing it on a bridge. I'm pretty confident I'll get the refinance, even if I've got to let it out instead of selling it. So I think I've got to do it on a bridge, that one, because I'll be giving away too much profit, basically.
Yeah, no, I get it, and it's looking at each job individually, just like when we're looking at working out how to structure something. You look at each one individually and make a call on it. And
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
The more experience you've got, the easier it is. Okay,
Yeah.
look, I'm conscious and that we started at finish time, and I think from a builder's perspective, I think everybody's asked. I've certainly asked everything I can think of. I've had Emma said, like, do you have like a list of investors basically that will invest in projects when you find the property or the project?
Yeah, I do have a couple of investors, but they've been also investing in their own stuff as well. So sort of, I don't know of massive investors, but I am involved with investors. Yeah.
Okay, let me just ask Emma the question. So Emma, is this based on the fact that you're looking at JVing because you've got some cash and you'd be interested in JVing with Ben, or is it because you're looking as a builder to find JV partners? So I'm just waiting for her to reply. She said, how much minimum profit would you do on a split? So it looks like potentially she's offering to do a project. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, again, like you say, that would depend on the area as such, because, like you say, the materials and labour would pretty much be what it will be. But yeah, I mean, I'd definitely look at a split with someone if they was gonna do it at cost. They're going to save on the VAT, they're doing the build at cost, and then we get a bit of a split at the end. So that does work for me. That works, you know. I've done it before.
And it's one way of saving that, isn't it? Yeah.
Say that again, sorry?
I said, it also saves a little bit of VAT as well.
Yeah, it saves a bit of cash flow, doesn't it, for them as well? Because obviously a builder's going to put 20% on top of it rather than do it at cost. Mm-hmm. So, but it's you've got to trust the builder to just get on with it, let them get on with it and get it built. As long as you know they're a good builder, and because you're going to get hold-ups, you're going to get, things are not going to always go exactly to plan, but you just got to have that trust with the builder and just have that rapport, that you're doing it, because sometimes you might have to pour more concrete and then use less blocks. Then you know what I mean. So then your footing's going to cost more, or you might hire the digger for an extra week just to get all your drainage in. So it initially looks like you spend a lot of money on the groundworks, but you're moving forward by doing two jobs at once. So it's about trusting the builder and building that relationship, really.
Yeah. Okay. And Emma's basically said she was looking at another project with a builder. And she's trying to negotiate something with him. She hasn't negotiated it yet, but she's got cash. So, and then she's asking things about whether the builder would get the planning and all that type of stuff. So, so I think it's an individual thing, right? Each builder's going to have their own way of doing things. If they've got work that they can charge full out. Or how big teams they've got, whether they can pull more people in. So I think it's an individual thing more than anything. Right, Andrew's just asked, would the costing for a project be the same in London as what Ben just quoted? And no, it wouldn't, because the trades are much dearer per day in London.
Yeah, 100%.
And also the permits for skips and all that type of stuff. Skip removal's much dearer in London, so I'd be allowing more nearer £200 a square foot, Andrew. And if it's a high spec property, because it's dearer, you know, you're going to be selling it for £500,000, £1 million, whatever it is, then again you're going to have to allow more for that. So I'd say 220 is a safer bet for London. And then Lorna said, apart from Wicks, who else is delivering, and is there waiting time in Essex?
I only know that Wicks are delivering, and that there's a merchant in Dersingham, but he is literally a one-man type. Well, they've got 3 or 4 people work for him, but they're not around the country. So I haven't done any other research. I've done a little bit just to see if I could get materials if I need it in my area. But I do know that as far as I'm unaware, although MKMs do run a separately independent type franchise thing, so some of the MKMs may be open, but I think Hugh Gray's and Midgeons, they are all shut. But as regards to Travis Perkins and stuff like that, I'm not actually sure.
Okay, all right. I think it's just going to be a phone around Lorna.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. Well, look, Ben, thank you for joining me at very last minute.
No, that's fine.
That's really cool. I think you've answered lots of people's questions. We'll continue to try and find other people in other trades and find out how it's affecting them and how to proceed and work through it, and expectations of what you can achieve and what you can't, which is the whole idea of what we're doing at the moment. I think personally that we're going to have quite a lot of opportunity come up in the next few months. So I think there's going to be a lot of potential to get some good deals. I do think there'll be a little bit of a downturn, but I don't think it will be anything too much, and I think the bounce back out will be fairly quick. But as I said, I have a YouTube channel called Property Millionaire Academy, which you can subscribe to, and all of these I'm actually filming as well as recording on GoToWebinar and putting the videos on, albeit a few days behind. So any that you've missed you can go on and have a look at. Thanks very much for joining this evening. We're going to wrap up there. I said one more time, thank you for Ben for joining us this evening and giving everyone a bit of perspective from a builder's point of view. Take care, have a great evening, and most important, be safe.